This is the Humble Togs Podcast, where photographers of all experience levels share their journey, not just the highlight reel. I'm Kurt Sneddon, a photographer and mentor with over 2 decades behind the camera. I'm here to create a space where photographers lift each other up, learn together, and no one's going to be a dick to you. You don't need to have it all figured out to start getting paid. I try to talk about this one a little bit, and certainly in social media, if you've seen posts where people put up a photo in social media and say, what do you guys think I should charge for this? More than half the comments on there usually are, no, you're not good enough yet, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I think it's worth $75, not $60. This episode is going to have some expletives in it, guys, because that is absolute bull crap. I'm here to tell anyone, if you're a photographer, if you're learning to become a photographer, to learn to value your time. And even if you are learning, the time it takes to be a provider of a service like photography is worthy of someone investing their money in you if they value you. Now, I can't say that clearly enough. If someone values you, and they want to value you with their hard-earned money, let them. I could say that a few more times, but I don't think I need to. I think you've got it. If your time is valuable to you, you can allow other people to appreciate your time and your effort, even if you're not the best photographer in the world. Your time and your effort is worth value. I don't want to see, if you're a photographer that's coming into the group and you've asked questions of, oh, do you think my photography is worth $70 or $50? And other people have argued with you on that point. I want you to ignore all of their bullcrap. Your photography, your time is worth hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars as you get better. And again, you don't even have to be the best photographer in the world to charge thousands of dollars for your photography. What you have to do is connect with humans. If you connect with humans, connect with families, you can take some pretty average photos. I'm not saying that you should be a bad photographer and just taking people's money, but you can be a developing photographer who gets emotion and gets what photographers sell, which is emotion, and help families connect with. And I am talking about portrait photography. I talk about portrait photography most of the time because I am a portrait photographer. But if you're wanting to make money in portrait photography, it's a pretty AI-proof area. In photography, a lot of the other areas of photography may be taken over with AI, but taking photos of people's families, of moments that they will never get back is not going anywhere, guys. It's not going to get taken over with AI. And if you connect with people on a personal level, they will value you with their hard-earned money very happily, but it should be in the hundreds of dollars mark. If anyone's arguing to you on social media about $70 or maybe $150, forget it. Start at $500. Put it that way. If you're struggling with the idea of how I could possibly do that, come and join Humble Togs Club. I will help you out. So we're going to talk to Sam very soon. Sam is a member of the club. Every episode of the podcast, I talk a little bit about theory in photography, and then we'll get into talking to someone in the club who is a member about their journey in photography and their life. In our chat with Sam today, we talk about shooting a bit of everything. And Sam's, got another full-time job. She's just cutting her teeth on a few different ideas in photography, and she's not really sure what she's going to go with yet. But she figured out a system where she messaged some people that own hotels because she was going on some hotel travel and said, hey, I'm coming to your town. How would you like me to do some photography for your content, social media and otherwise, if I come and stay in your hotel and trade off the room for some services? Right? That's a good place to start. Again, you don't have to charge money. She's just building her business and building her ideas and building her contacts. There's nothing wrong with starting out and trading services and doing things for free, but don't listen to people that tell you you shouldn't be charging money. And honestly, the more important part of this whole conversation is to just get started and to try and figure out how you would deliver things to your clients. Sam actually joined the community by asking a question in a public forum on TikTok where she was saying, hey, photographers, how do you deliver your images to clients? It was myself and others that jumped on there and explained to her the number of ways to do it. And again, there's a lot of attitude out there of, oh, you can't use this way, you can't use that way. Blah, 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 blah. However you get your images to clients is a great way to get your images to clients. Full stop. It's not rocket science, guys. I think the more important thing is to get started. Sam talks about getting started on her website, trying to figure out and fail forward on how to build a website. That's, something that maybe you've tried and you've gone, oh, this should be easy. It's not. There's a lot to building a website, but just getting in there and starting, and even just get some kind of website up and running is a great thing. And we talk about that in the episode too. So if you're someone out there who's starting in photography, or if you've always loved it as a hobby and you're wanting to start making some money in photography, have a listen to what Sam's got to say. She'll tell you about how she has a full-time job and she's building this on the side. It's her first real gig, this hotel collab gig that she did. And she reached out to me and I did some one-on-one coaching with her on how to prepare for doing that gig. But already she's been asked back, so it's already growing her business. She's also dabbling in working with other small businesses and in sports photography. She's still figuring out her lighting. Before she was talking to me, she actually hadn't even thought about using her flash that she does own, but she's felt too scared to pull it out and be able to use it confidently. So I helped her with that, figuring out what lenses she needs and what she might want to buy in the future. She's still figuring out her workflow and the time that it takes to download and process all the images. That's a whole big thing to building a business. But again, if you are coming into the industry and thinking that doing a photo shoot is just going out there and taking photos of someone and then giving them to them, that is not what photography business is all about, guys. So here's a couple of things I want you to concentrate on if you are starting out in photography or just trying to figure out how you can make money in photography. Number one, just start. It doesn't have to be polished, doesn't have to be perfect. Base your charge and your value off the time and the effort you put in. The skills and the experience will all follow. So instead of hearing from someone who's got it all dialed in, like me, let's hear it from someone who's actually in it right now, just starting out. This is Sam from the Humble Togs Club. Let's hear all about her and where she's up to. Hello. This is Sam. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing good. It's nighttime here, but doing good.
Yeah. Where are you based?
I'm based right outside of Chicago.
I love me some Chicago in the summer.
Yeah. Yesterday was really nice. Today was cold again, but we're getting there.
Yeah. Now, tell everyone, how long have you been in the club for?
I was just thinking about this yesterday. I've been in since August or September of 2025. So that's 6, 7, 8 months if I do the math. Yeah.
I have a fond memory of when we first chatted. I feel like you were the first person that I really got in there and really was doing some like one-on-one coaching. I think we were doing meetings and you were the only one that would turn up a couple of times and we were able to do a bit more one-on-one coaching. And I felt like you're one of the first people that I was able to legitimately help go from, one stage in your career just to step up another step and get to the thing you were working on. Tell us about that gig you were working on and how it's going now.
Yeah. So I've done photography just for fun for years, but I've started getting into it more and seeing like if I could make a business of it. And I love to travel and take pictures. That's one of the big things I like to do. And so I had seen different people online that were, if you reach out to hotels while you're traveling, you could maybe be able to do work for them while you're there. And that is what happened. I was able to reach out to a lot of places that were local to like the Midwest and ended up doing collabs with them and kind of doing marketing and content shoot for them. That was my first like official, I'll call it a photography gig back in the fall. And it was really, really cool. It was a really beautiful boutique hotel in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. And the owners were wonderful. That kind of kicked it all off. And you were so incredibly helpful because like I said, it was my first time doing it. I didn't know really anything going into it. And so I really appreciate all your help.
Yeah. But you've done the gig a couple more times since then. Tell us about where you are now and how much you've learned, or what are the mistakes you've made and learned from. Where are you up to with that gig right now?
Yeah, that's a great question. They asked me to come back in January when all their Christmas stuff was still up because they wanted a bunch of holiday pictures and Christmassy things. So I went back right after New Year's and did a lot of stuff for them then. And they asked for more drinks and like cocktails because they have a really cool like speakeasy bar and cocktail stuff. And that was a learning curve as well. Like shooting in a lot darker areas is not something I'm used to. And then you provide such helpful feedback on all of it too, of like things that I miss here and there, even just thinking of like in the moment, how can I shift things around or move things? Because I'm really used to like I said, I do travel stuff or outside with nature, and it's like nature's there. You can't really move the tree around. But if I'm filming like a cocktail glass or something, I can move that or get, an empty can out of the way, stuff like that more. So just kind of taking a second and stepping back and like looking at it more and when I'm in the moment has been really helpful. And it's a lot of the things you've pointed out too.
Yeah. Did you have to start using flash for those ones that were in the cocktails?
Yes, I've learned to use my flash. I'm still working on using I think it's the diffuser. Is that, or the trigger, not diffuser. That has a diffuser on the trigger.
Yeah.
So I did use flash, but then now the next step would be
To get off camera?
use the trigger off camera as my next step. I'm getting more comfortable with flash. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. What would you say is still, just stepping back and just talking about photography in general with where you're going, what is kind of the biggest challenge you have right now in your photography business?
Not even the business, but just, I think, going from shooting outside all the time to inside, learning the lighting inside has been really challenging for me. Like, all my pictures have noise on them, and I'm trying to, like, how can I adjust things so I'm not denoising every single picture? Because that's just taking time in my editing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I shot my brother's basketball game for the Special Olympics tournament, and all those too, they all have noise in them. Then it takes me so long to edit and get the pictures out. So that's actually my big thing, is the time it's taking me.
Yeah, absolutely. I was downloading about 3,500, 4,000 photos this morning when we started this podcast. I thought I could download the photos whilst we were doing this podcast recording, but I realized I don't have enough ports in the back of my computer. And I've tried using the webcam plugged into one of those hubs, and it was having a lot of issues, or the microphone was having issues or something. So I've tried to only use the actual ports on the back of my computer. But even then, it's just that thing of like, oh man, it just takes so much time to download, but I can't do it while I'm using other ports, and all those technical hassles are always a pain in the butt, always.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's, I think, the biggest thing is I didn't realize how much time, and maybe it's just because I'm newer and I'm still learning my editing style and process, but the time after each gig, I feel like it's taking me a really long time to like call and edit and then get the photos out, just because the tech of it all.
Yeah, a lot of tech and a lot of time, as you say. Honestly, some of the things that I talk about that aren't very popular to talk about in the industry, like using Bridge instead of Lightroom. I literally was just trying to use Lightroom just now to see how they were going with the automated culling. So Lightroom, only in the last couple of months, has come out with the ability to automatically cull the photos as you import them. And I tried it when it first came out, and it was just not good. And I was trying again today because I was photographing a dance school the other day where I shot lots of photos, lots and lots of kids, just importing them into the computer and just organizing them, even into the names of each kid, takes me a long time. And there's various different softwares that can do it better than others. Lightroom is generally the place I go to do big, like weddings, or when there's a lot of photos, I'll go into Lightroom. And I tried this AI culling and even just getting it to understand which ones had the eyes closed and which ones, were eyes open. It's supposed to be able to do that, and it's still not doing that very well either. So I'm like, for all the hassle and the time it takes, it's like, guys, if your software is not working yet, it's not good enough for us to trust. It's kind of pointless. But certainly there's always that thing of, the time it takes to do everything. And a lot of people, the other thing with camera formats too, I still shoot on like a D3, D4, which to me shoots the raw files at like 15, 20 megabytes per file. And some of the newer cameras, they go up to like 36 megapixels or bigger megapixels. And that's all well and good, but that just adds to the time that you've got to download, especially if you're shooting weddings, like downloading massive amounts of data. It doesn't matter how fast your computers are getting, it's just so much data and so much time. So I do think there's something to be said for like not getting the biggest, fanciest camera, because sometimes you don't need all that. It's like I prefer my D3. The files are smaller. Everything kind of goes a lot quicker, especially when I'm doing big shoots. Yeah, some of that stuff is important to think about as you are getting more and more professional too, because it's not always a thing of like, well, let's get the best gear, because sometimes it's not worth it.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point.
Here I am talking about gear. I always say how often I don't talk about gear, but how do you feel about your gear space and your gear world at the moment?
I feel okay. I definitely feel like I want a macro lens. I love shooting nature and stuff outside. So like as I'm getting more into learning the lenses too, I'm like, ooh, that would be so fun. One of my lenses actually got dust in it, like behind. It was really weird. I took it to like a local photography place. They looked at it and they're like, yeah, we can, charge you $250 to clean it, but the lens is only $350. So I just ordered a new one. So now I have an old one with dust in it.
Right.
But I do think I want one more. Basically, I think I want two more lenses. The macro, and then one I'm just trying to figure out, not really knowing what I'm going into still. I'm just trying out different types of photography. It's hard to be like, okay, I need this lens.
What do you have?
I have, so the two that came with the camera, I have a Nikon Z50 camera, and then I have the It's just it's like a 15 to 50. It's like the basic one that came on it.
So kind of wide-ish, yep.
Yeah, then a zoom lens, that's 50 to 250. And then I have a wide angle, which has been really helpful for the hotels and stuff because that can get the whole room. The wide angle is like 12 to, I'd have to look.
12 to 24 or something. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Oh, no, the 16 to 50 is my main one. And then wide angle is 12 to 28. Yeah.
Yeah, great. The thing about macro, it is great. And for weddings, doing like the rings and things like that, it is great. But I would advise you probably just to rent it a few times on a gig that you know you want to use it, and rent like a really good one.
Okay.
And see how you go. It is really fun. But it's also, I think a lot of gear like macro lenses and other stuff, unless you're using it all the time, and you may very well say to me, I do want to use it all the time, and that's great. But I would just say you're better off as you get more and more experience and more kind of money coming in for the business, you're better off upgrading to higher quality level glass. The lenses and the glass make a much bigger difference to your images than even the camera body does. So you're better off doing that. So I would say rather than going even to buy a cheaper macro and just hire it for the gigs you need it and then see how it goes. You can also get away with not having a macro. You can get some, really nice close-up shots of like the ring and stuff without having a macro lens too. So I've done that. I've hired macro lenses for weddings and stuff and then kind of realistically figured out, well, I can do a similar kind of shot with the rings on a 24 to 70 and crop in a little bit if I need to. There's a big difference between a regular lens and the macro lens. Like when you first get it, you're like, oh, holy crap, it's so close. Like you can get the lens like this close to the subject. And then you have to just have a ton of light on it because the aperture with our regular photography, we're talking about apertures of like f2 or 2.8, things like that. When you're in macro and you're super, super close, like even like an f11 is still super, super narrow depth of field because it's the amount of distance you are from the subject is so small, everything becomes much, much more defined, or it's like an exponential curve. Like the closer you get to it, it just really, really ramps up the depth of fieldness. So there's a bunch of trickier things with macro photography to get to learn and do like that when you do that. But yeah, unless you were doing that all the time, I would recommend renting a lens every now and then as opposed to buying one. However, I mean, you can get cheap secondhand mid-level lenses for macro stuff. So yeah, again, a lot of my opinions, I'm not that strongly opinionated because you could listen to me or not listen to me and still have a great time. But tell us a little bit more about where you are up to in your career and your life.
Yeah, so I've always loved photography. Like as a kid, my grandpa was always taking pictures of us. So I've always had photography as a hobby that I've loved. I went to school for speech language pathology. So I did undergrad and grad school for that. And when I was in grad school in Boston, I would literally just walk around and take pictures all the time, like go out in the snowstorms and like ride the what was it in Boston? It's the T. Yeah, I'm in Chicago now, so it's out. But the T, I would just take it to like take pictures. Boston's so beautiful. And so I was literally doing that along with grad school for speech language pathology. I graduated and then worked as an SLP in the public schools, suburbs of Chicago for 3 years. And then I moved to a hospital setting for 2 years. And yeah, I got really sick and I burned out and I just had a lot of issues with the way a lot of things are run in healthcare and public schools. But I ended up changing my career and I now do special education, but I work for university. So I kind of do the back end of special education, data collection, things like that. And so not working in a public school or not working in a hospital anymore, I've been really able to like pick up my hobby again and really be able to immerse myself in it. Whereas before I just didn't have the time. I didn't have the energy. I was pretty sick. And so it's been really, really nice to just get back into it, both for fun. And then I got to the point of like, okay, hey, I can actually start a business of this where I never would have had the time or the energy to do it before. And that's actually, I think, how I found Humble Togs Club, because I had posted something about it when I was trying to start the business.
Right. So do you remember what that was? Was that on TikTok or something on Facebook?
Yeah.
What were you on?
Yeah, I was on TikTok and I had posted asking, when you have all your photos ready to deliver to a client, like, how are you doing that? What, system are you, I had no idea. That video like blew up. It got like thousands of comments. And so many of the comments were like, go to Humble Togs Club, like go here, they'll help you. Pixie said all different things to deliver your photos to your clients. So it was really helpful. But that was kind of my introduction to like the photography world really was. I had a video that blew up and gave me lots of wonderful recommendations.
Right. And so I didn't comment on that video. It was other members, was it?
I think you did, but it was other people recommending it. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Funny. Yeah, it's been a fun thing for me, for my business brain, to be building Humble Togs Club, because again, it's kind of essentially digital marketing in the digital space and using social media to get that message out there. So like I said, with you too, it was really nice for me to kind of break my teeth on being a bit more of a coach and a mentor. And I really enjoyed
Yeah.
that with you, and hope to keep helping you as we see you grow more. What do you think now? What is the percentage of the amount of time that you're doing for photography? Are you still doing other jobs right now?
Yeah, so I still have my full-time job. I'm a data analyst now, so I work, my full-time job, but that job is so much less demanding than my old career, so I'm able to do more things on the side. I kind of finished well, it's like you finish up a project and then another one comes and another one comes. So I thought I had a pause for a bit, but I think I'm kind of switching to looking at more local small businesses and being able to do like marketing stuff for people here rather than travel as much, just because, like I said, I'm dealing with a lot of health issues and it kind of impacted my health to do all that and have to stay away. My health stuff, it's all kind of, I work on things as I can. And I also want to make sure I'm keeping photography as something that like is enjoyable. I don't want it to become like, this is work and stressing me out. And I kind of felt like, oh, I'm such a perfectionist. I was getting to that point of like, okay, let's pause and let's take projects that will be fun and aren't going to stress me out and I have the time to do.
Yeah. Do you think you want to stay with shooting environments and hotels and restaurants, businesses and stuff, as opposed to shooting people?
That's a great question. I don't know. So I have been shooting a lot of sports recently just for fun. My brother is in Special Olympics, and so I'm not really sure what I want to do. I think I'm trying all different niches and seeing what I like, because I did really like doing the hotel stuff. And now that my brother, he does a lot of Special Olympics, and I've been able to take my camera, the zoom lens. It's not like a great sports lens, but it's doable for a small gym, and take a lot of pictures of their
Sure.
basketball games, their pickleball tournaments. They went to state for basketball 2 weekends ago, and I took, pictures of so many different athletes, and I loved doing that. That was just for me for fun. Starting to take more
Yeah.
pictures of people. I really like doing the sports, which I didn't think I would like. And then I have a friend who is a personal trainer, and he opened a business for training Special Olympians. So it's all athletes with disabilities, and he trains my brother. And so I took my camera and
Oh,
I
great.
took a bunch of marketing pictures for him the other day. That's my next project, is working on
Hmm.
all those. And I was like, oh, I really like doing a small business. Like, it's the owners. It's not like a big chain or anything like that. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
really knowing who the people are and it's local. Yeah.
Yeah. Helping them be able to come up with images they can use for their promotion or their social media, their website, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I'm leaning towards more of that, but I'm also like, let me try different things and see what comes up, because it seems like things keep popping up and I'm like, why not? Let me just try it and see what I think.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. I mean, it's great to be in that position where you have your other full-time job, you're trying different
Mhm.
things out, and just slowly building towards figuring out, yeah, what you like, what gear you might need. Because when you start talking about that sports stuff, that's one thing where I would say, well, yeah, if you do want to go into that, the graininess you're finding, the noise that you're finding in your images, you might find that upgrading the lenses is something that will help you get less grainy stuff, because the lenses are able to open up bigger basically in low light environments. And of course, sports in low light environments where you've got motion and low light to play with, it really means you have to kind of push up that ISO to get that motion frozen. But as you get more experience, you'll start to see, I can see why now I would need a bigger lens that goes to 2.8 or something at those zoom lengths.
Yeah, they had an actual photographer that they'd hired or was volunteering either way that had the big lens, and I was like, "Ooh, that's what I would need to get these to look a little better." So I've like seen it, and I'm like, I just don't want to.
Yeah.
I want to, keep trying things. I always want to buy a new lens, and I'm like, hold on until I have like a better sense of like what I want to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Keep trying with the lens you've got and see
Hmm.
how far you've got to push it. You want to try to start to make some money with the lenses you have, and then use that money to reinvest back into other lenses, rather than, trying to like be, oh, I have to have the lenses and all that stuff before I can start charging people. And there's a big, big thing on social media where a lot of people will say, you can't start charging until you're a professional. I'm like, bullshit. We all learn as we go. And I
Yeah.
think starting to earn some money in whatever way you can, and then slowly investing in the right things once you know, as you said, once you figure out what you like doing and what are the things you want to work on. And then, because in that world, say you wanted to do that sports photography, you could become a real specialist in that. The people of that industry will talk about your name and all that stuff. So you've got to figure out, do I want to do that first? And if you do want to do that, do it and keep working and keep working. And that will take you a couple of years, but you could become a really, really high level photographer just in that real niche area. And that's really awesome.
Yeah.
It all takes time, right?
It does. Yeah. And I think I like so many things too that I'm like, oh, I like to do this. I like to do this. I like to do this. The only thing I'm not touching is like newborn photography, not that. And I'm not touching weddings, but never say never, because who knows what might come up. But yeah.
I personally, I've done some newborn stuff with family photography back when we had the studio and everything. And yeah, it is a real, real niche. And you really need to, if you're going to do newborns, you really need to get, number one, really, really good at it. And also you just need the infrastructure. You need all the soft equipment and the things. You just need a lot of stuff. It's a real niche to get into. I recommend anyone that really loves to do baby things to get into it and work really hard on it, because it's a great niche, but it's not one of those things. And certainly I think I put myself in this category. We always kind of did family photos, and then sure, if someone wanted to do newborn photos, yeah, come on in, we'll do it. But I always knew I wasn't doing it as good as, I know there are other photographers out there that specialize in newborn who would do it much better than me. But yeah, if I was going to really do this, I'd want to really do it. And I'm clearly not doing it. I'm more into families and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm definitely considering trying, more people. I was very hesitant, but I think I'm like, okay, this isn't as scary as I thought it would be. I just don't think I realized the director hat you have to put on as a photographer of directing where the people go and where they stand and all the posing that goes with it. I don't think I ever realized how much of that goes into it as well. So that's all, just learning as I go too.
Well, one of the best places for you to start, if you were to say go into hotels, restaurants, that kind of genre, one of the best places to kind of morph from there into people is to say, well, let's do some photos of the staff and essentially corporate headshots of those staff, and then they can use them for the LinkedIn as well as the website of the hotel or the restaurant. That's a great place to start. If you were just wanting to dip your toe in, the idea of shooting people, that's a really easy way to do it. And it's pretty simple. Shooting corporate people, turn this way, turn that way, getting the posture right is relatively easy to do. And it's a great way into then going, oh, I really love working with people. And then essentially when, say you've had a good time with a couple of people that are business people, they all have families and they all have friends that get married, and whichever way you want to go, you can build up using the audience you've got and the people you've worked for to then say, hey, I also do families, or I do babies, or whatever it is. But that's a good little segue, stepping stone to get over to the people side of things.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great point. I was doing it was a larger hotel in November last year, and the marketing director was just like, oh, I'm going to be in the pictures. And she just I was like, okay, here we go. So I had to it was fine. It worked out really well. But she was like, I don't want to hire a model. I'm just going to be the model myself. And so I incorporated her into a lot of the pictures too. I've really trying different things and just, like you said, seeing how it goes. And this leads to that and that leads to that. And who knows where it's going to go.
Yeah. Awesome. Over the next year, let's say, what is your main goals with photography? We've talked a little bit about how you just wanted to try a bunch of stuff, but do you have any kind of main goals that, this time next year, March next year, you'd be able to look back and go, oh yeah, I really either achieved that or not? What are some big goals there?
Yeah, I really want to get my website up and running. That would be a big goal, and get all of my social media up to date with all the projects I've done, because I have so much I want to post and get out there, and I'm just very behind in all of that. So I think kind of just bring my presence online more, because when I look at, if you Google my photography business, I want it to come up. I have my website there, what my recent projects, all of that, just more available online. That's kind of my goals right now. And then I think my biggest goal would just be just exploring and trying different projects to see what I like. Maybe doing some small businesses in my area, or, there's Special Olympics is year round. Keep trying that. I have some people I want to reach out to see if they'd want me to try and take pictures of things with the athletes. Yeah, kind of those are the main two things, is getting my online presence, and not even the marketing piece of it, but just having everything set online, and then just keep trying different projects and seeing what I like and where it takes me.
Yeah, the online stuff is almost a full-time job job too.
Oh
The
my
amount
gosh,
of
yeah.
time that you to create social media content, update the website, and yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, I thought building a website was going to be like, okay, I can do this in a day, but I started it and was like, oh my goodness, this is so much more than I thought. So I have it like that's the first thing on my to-do list is like I want to do this. I was very unprepared for how much that would be to get it
Right.
all there. So I will get there. My job was really busy in January and February, like my full-time job. And then I did the project right in the new year. So I feel like the busyness is just like finally slowing down. And then we all got sick. I'm hoping the spring will be my, okay, now it's the website and putting all of my projects out on social media.
Yeah. Yeah. What did you try to build the website with?
What was it called? I think
Wix or Squarespace, one of those?
I've looked at Squarespace. I feel like I looked at PickTime, but I don't know if they had a website option. I tried Unscripted and I got really confused because they also don't have a website option. A lot of people told me to look at like Pixie Set. I have a list of things that people have recommended me to try. And I think I got so overwhelmed and I was like, I'll come back to that.
Yeah, yeah. Pixie Set is relatively new in the space, but certainly everyone is talking about it these days, and it's a very popular option. The other one I'd recommend, just because the one I use, is called Format, and it's built for photographers. I mean, Pixie Set's built for photographers too, but Format seemed simple, and I love it because the photos, the gallery, the style of the photos are always really well designed. And my website is like, the photos are big all the time. And that's what I would recommend. I think when people start making websites for their photography business, a lot of websites that are like Wix or whatever have like little galleries where the photos are small on the screen. And I've talked before about how when you come to a photographer's website and the photos are small, it just has a feeling of low value and cheapness, in the sense of like when a photo is small, you just think about, well, I'm just printing it at like as a 4x6 or something cheap. And if the photos are big, it just has that feeling of like just more expensiveness, if that makes sense, more value. And the Format website was great like that for me. And I haven't changed for years and years now, but that's another option as well.
Okay. Yeah, I will look into that too. I hadn't heard of that one.
It's really simple. And I think if you needed to build your website in a weekend, you could probably do it on something like Format. To be fair, you could probably do the same thing on Pixie Set too with a weekend because of the way it's structured. You don't want to be doing a lot of coding or like spacing or anything like that. Get some images up and get started. But another thing I'd just recommend too with Pixie Set is if you do the Pixie Set website, figure out how to do the domain so that you've got, Sam Hamilton Photography, whatever your brand name is, .com, and then make sure that it's plugged in like that. I think it feels cheap-ish when someone's, photography website, when they hand out a business card, is, come and visit me at samhamilton.pixieset.com. It just makes it a little less professional sound.
You own the domain. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes you know what? I'm remembering now too, a few months ago, I had tried to set up a website. I don't even remember what it's through. And the first thing they needed was your business name. And I was like, I don't know what I want to call my business. And that was the whole thing too, of I was getting so stuck on like, what do I want to call it? And especially because I didn't really know I still don't like what kind of niche or what I specifically want to do. So I felt like I don't want to like narrow myself into one thing. So I think I'm just sticking with my name because my name it works, Sam Ham Photography. Sam Hamilton Photography is already taken, but that's okay. So that's the other thing is my name's so common. It's taken by so many people already. But
I think we talked about that. Yeah.
Yeah. I was going back and forth on so many things that it was stressing me out. And I was like, I just need to leave it like for now. And I think it really helped talking to a lot of people on Humble Togs Club because they were like, you can change it. It's not that big a deal. We've changed our name 3 times throughout my career. So many people were so helpful. You too were so helpful. Like I changed it to this and I changed it to this. And I was like, okay, like it'll be okay.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Yeah. What is the Sam Ham thing? Is that a name you've always used or?
Yeah, my name is Samantha Hamilton. And then just growing up, that was my nickname. Like I was a big athlete and everyone, Sam Ham, Sam Ham, Sam Ham. And so I just picked that name when I did the Instagram. And I'm like, well, it is kind of catchy and it sticks. Yeah. People know me by that.
It's memorable,
Yeah. And I think you had said that to me too. People will remember your name and your photography. I was like, that is true. Like sometimes if I see someone's photography business and it's like a really beautiful name, but it's hard to remember, I may not remember that business or them as much.
Yes, I think Sam
Yeah.
Ham is good. Yeah, I think that's a challenge for people when they first start to do, especially for people with, as you said, names like yours that are relatively common. It's often that you
Mhm.
go to Google and you're like, oh shit, it's already taken with 3 photographers that are called the same name. And there's something to be said for the fact that, like, if you're in Chicago and the other Sam Hamilton is in, Illinois, Illinois,
Yeah.
Chicago.
He's out in like Colorado, at least. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine because you could do like samhamilton.co or some other thing as well. But I think just get a website, pick one of them
Yeah.
and have it up there. And then as you go, like I said, you will find your way.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Sam. That's been a great chat. I really, really look forward to it. There's yourself, there's Jessa, Yana, there's a couple of other people who I'm really gunning for to really just help you just step up each level up to the next thing. So always reach out to me, always give me the experience too of doing the coaching and trying to help and whatever. I'm really loving that. Don't feel like I don't want to bother Kurt because he's busy. Reach out to me all the time. I really look forward to helping you grow and seeing your business take off and get to the next step. So
yeah, I appreciate that because I do have the mindset of like, oh my gosh, you just moved, you have so much going on, you're running this, like, I don't want to bother you, but I do appreciate you whenever, I reach out because you are so, so helpful. And it has been so helpful to have this club and to just learn everything from you and everyone else in it. It's been really, really, really helpful and so positive. Everyone's so positive.
Thanks so much, Sam. Thank you for joining me today. If this episode hit home, share it with someone who might need it. And if you want to be part of a photography community that actually supports you, come check out Humble Togs Club. You'll find the link in the show notes or head to humbletogsclub.com. If you haven't already, make sure you're following the podcast and drop a quick rating. It really helps get this out to more photographers who need it. All right, see you in the next episode or in the club. Stay humble and keep chasing awesome.